G'day everyone. Just here doing a little bit of offline or non-Twitch casting, just so I can try and catch up on this Runaway Group D games here. So gonna just be a little bit different, but crack into it all the same. So just gonna start off with an AMO versus J0N PERKiNS set here. So we have game one on John's home map, Hidden Forts, which we've seen a bit in action in a few different tournaments lately, and we have John playing as the Byzantines, and Amo, probably first time playing on Hidden Forts in a competitive setting, doesn't get around the competitive, the community, what do we call them, tournaments that regularly. So Amo playing on Hidden Forts and choosing the Saracens, which you saw Amo play so competently in his first set on Yucatan. So, look, being that I'm offline, I don't have chat. I might do a little bit of quick fast forwarding through various parts of Dark Age, and maybe if we have a little bit of a boom off. So we saw Amo take 2-2-alls so far. Sorry, 2-2-0 so far. We've seen John with a 1-all, so it will be quite an important set for both of them. Winning on your home map's really, really important, as we see Amo going to a back lumber camp, which to me is a sign of passive playing and a sign of wanting to be the defender rather than the aggressor. And John, on the other hand, going for the middle, but not with a force chop, I think. If we saw two vills on a tree here trying to cut through. But if you do chop the middle to try and use it and your opponent doesn't really work that well. And just see Amo more just scouting around the base and getting ready, I think, for the late game rather than a bit of an early aggression. And John has pushed a couple of deer in from the looks of things. No, hasn't. Going to push deer now, I suppose. Been a kind of a bit of a fixed map position in terms of TCs. You can kind of, roughly know where your opponent is, so you don't scouting maybe not as important as getting a bit of a resource boom as they are on other maps where I think scouting's very important. So yeah, let's see how we go. Ooh, little bit hard when you're pushing your deer and keeping everything. We see John get loom and John on their way to feudal age, and let's maybe bring it down to normal speed a little bit. Let's wait till we get a bit closer, actually. John with the barracks and some small walls. So really going to be wanting our lumber here and just walling to the TC. And I don't mind that. This is quite a good defensible position. But we see Amo only getting loom and looking to go up now after pushing in a couple of deer as well. And I'd say this maybe looks a little bit more like a fast castle timing for Amo. And John in feudal age, and instantly with the archery range, and I'm worried here for John. The archery range is going to be trying to cut through the middle, where Amo has no presence. And we haven't scouted, and this is the important thing, I think, in this game, is I did say scouting's not that important, but there's one super important thing, and that is scouting where your opponent has, basically, if you're deciding to attack, you need to know whether you're coming around the outside or you're coming through the guts. And John, with an archer and Q, has cleared away and can send the scout, but now the archers are going to have to path all the way around the outside. And the archer's coming now, which is a bit of a shame. So, well played by Amo to realise that the map does require you to boom on the outside rather than the inside. And we see a market blacksmith. And look where Saracens. Oh, really, really nice little tower preemptively there. Just knowing that this is where I need to protect. But John going to get a bit of a surprise here, I think. Be like, oh, where's the lumber? The good thing is Amo's probably not going to punish for it, being that this looks like a little bit more of a boomy play. Although the tower maybe will be costly, but again, we are Saracens, and Amo on their way up to Castle Age. And I think John realizing Scout needs to go and find what Amo's doing on the outside, and John must be like, surely there's a lumber camp here, surely. I think quite well read from John. Oh no. Well, that's one dead archer. That's a fast boar. Sorry, slow boar. Fast archer. Archer boar luring. They're the same speed. New meta. But the rhino gets its kill. Really important. And John... Ooh, John pulling some boars in. Actually, that's quite good. I like that. Because if we can keep pulling boars in, there's at least the potential for a bit more food income, because we are going to need to see a pretty heavy farm transition. At least the boars will allow us to get food in without having to go heavy on farm. So hopefully we don't delay our uptime too much. But I would love to see maybe 4 or 5 farms starting to get seeded. Otherwise we are going to have a little bit of an unbalanced economy. And Amo about to hit. Looking at the setup, they haven't bought stone back, so I'm curious whether we are going to boom. Let's watch the market. Boom, 100 stone. Buy another 100 stone. You're Saracens. Drop the word. Bang. TC here. TC somewhere else. Excellent. And looking at John, I think hopefully once we drop all this boar meat off, we should be looking pretty close as we see the farm starting to transition in as well. And the scout, probably a little bit delayed on our walls here, which is going to give John a little opportunity to be a little bit cheeky, but doesn't take it. And TC should be up before the scout gets near. And John should be clicking up any minute now. Has the buildings. And just needs to drop off the gold. Just needs to drop off the gold. And here we go. John on their way up. But Amo... only 30 odd seconds of idle time. TC's slowly starting to get going. Bring the scout across, which is nice. We accidentally hit something with our scout. Ooh, and another long distance boar lure for John. Oh, actually, the wood chopper's kind of helped out there, but we need builds in on this ASAP. Yeah, that should be fine. Oh, no. The rhinos doing their work against John, unfortunately, as we see Amo should finish this wall, but Village is trapped on the outside. So that's maybe a little bit of concern as the archers now getting fletching and looking to move forward. As the third TC gets dropped for Amo. And John, I think John can start dropping some farms and looking to boom, or John can kind of go on the aggressive, but this should be one deadville. Or just passing. Just passing! Oh! Oh no, we've seen it. We've seen it? We've seen it. We've seen it? Oh, come on. Who's paying more attention? No, I think the archers have got this. I think the archers have got this. That could have been like huge in the scope of the game, but that should be a deadville. As we see... the Amo Scout survive with 8 HP, and the Vil is, well, still alive, but shouldn't be long for this world. And instant 2 TCs for John. And taking advantage of the middle where there is a lot of gold. So Amo continuing the walls up. And I think we're going to have a bit of a boom off, guys. John is adding in more archers, which I do like. And just making sure there's vision across the map, just to make sure Amo isn't going to push through the middle, I would assume. Which does give John kind of full control here, but Amo actually outposting, which I quite like, because that will give vision if we're trying to cut in. And I think like it's a TC or a castle, you kind of drop in this area and then kind of cut through. Amo on his way to get relics from the looks of things. Already has 2 of them actually, so that's quite good. And John just seeing what damage we can get with the archers. And John doing a good job of taking the ball. There's so much ball, mate. You may as well get on it. Although, oh no. Good work, John. This Rhino is not going to be the one that does it today. But as you can see, guy with two kills. 1 kill more than each player. Wheelbarrow timing in for both. And walls should be complete for Amo, and these are stone walls. But man, he loves sacrificing a vill to the walling gods, basically. Making sure that to get it completed, we have to have a vill on the outside, I think. And here we go. But right in vision, and John doesn't know this. John doesn't know there's an outpost right there. Oh, that's a shame. John trying to cut through, but I think it'll just be siege defense. And never mind, it's just going to be a castle. Which is the right move. I think it does protect that area, but John just going to go over and lumber camp over here. But again, Amo has that nice vision set up already, so we'll see what is going on. I do like how John is trying to force the issue a little bit here. John adding a mango. And can see the siege workshop. And the archer's actually about to break in, as we saw. I think the scout went down. No, did the vill take some HP to that wolf? Yep. And the archers are in, but walls are up. Again, sacrificing a couple of vills to the walling gods. Oh no, we're going to bring them back through. And crossbow in, I do like that. And we've got Bodkin. And we do have a mangonel, but we do have a couple of monks here, so the conversion on the villagers could be quite frustrating. I'm just waiting for John to like misclick onto the ball. And gets out of there, just taking a little bit of damage, so that's fine. And you see Amo about 30 vills ahead, about 3k resources ahead. Might not be paused, but we're definitely getting it back against zebras over here as one just melts into the ground. And Imp is on the way for Amo. So just been a nice little bit of a boomy castle age as the crossbows. Now, these are ballistic-less crossbows, so they're going to have a hard time hitting anything, basically. As we see the mangonel taking out Amo's vision, but Amo does still have vision of those vills and the wood line, thanks to the monkers. It looks like it's going to be skirm and mangoes for Amo as 4th TC is dropped. Oh, and I do like this actually. And Amo just walling up. Amo just going to defend. But where is Amo going to push from? I think that's the most important thing. And we are seeing a stable switch for John. So I don't know if that's going to be Knights or Hussar. I don't think you want to get into a camel slinging match with the Saracens. And John with a castle coming down. Now, Byzantines do have a cheaper Imperial Age. I do wonder if it is queued in any of these TCs. It is not. John's boom is starting to catch up a little bit. Ooh, this is a little bit dangerous. Although, yeah, we're going to lose a couple of vills there, but the castle should go up. The Mango's going to have to move into the range of the other castle to get it up, and there is Imp. Now, John's probably going to have to idle out production and really get some farms down with some haste, because this is a bit of a moment for Amo. And it is camels that John is going into, which I'm not sure... They're cheaper, but I'm not sure I'm 100% happy with that as the play. And Amo has secured the base with 2 castles now. But it is going to be camel crossbow against Mangonel skirmisher from the looks of things. And Amo looking to chop through now. It's camels that don't get bloodline against camels that get instant bloodlines and possibly more. So they actually get bloodlines as well. There's some chunky camels, the Saracenios. As we see John wandering back home. And John up to Imp, that cheaper Byzantine Imp really coming in clutch there. And Amo probably, we saw it a little bit in his first couple of sets. Maybe just a little bit tentative and late to push. We do have Onager coming in. Hopefully we'll start to see some Trebs, although with chemistry we might be going for some bombard cannons. But has that opportunity to really let that economy take over right now. But John getting that opportunity to also just solidify and get up to Imp before the push is going to come. So both players should be looking okay, and we should have a bit of a good post-Imp stoush here. Amo does confirm castle now, so I'd love to see a Treb dropped instantly. And Mamelukes on their way as well, so that's really good. Did we see the camels? I don't think we did. Do we see the stables? Yeah, we see stables, so Mamelukes are obviously great for the stable play. And we should see this wood line go down. And a bombard cannon on its way as well. I do like that. Ballistics is coming in. I hope to see a quick chem pick for our Byzantine player. And it is going to be camel crossbow into skirmisher Mameluke. Now let's get this bombard cannon hitting the castle, I reckon. And let's get a few more bombards in queue. As we do see the knight switch, but the Mamelukes are... They're going to be good to deal with that. Or maybe it's a knight misclick as camels are back in queue. Heavy camel, super important. Really good to get that. And looks like we might be going camels or hussars for the Saracen play. John doing a good job of just getting vision. And looking like wanting to do a bit of a side push, which is nice. And doing a good job getting vision here as well. But Amo with the impetus on the push, but maybe just being a little bit slow to get going. And John doing the right thing and going to push at the castle. And Amo looking to solidify and push. But the Trebs... We are out of position for the Trebs. There's a little cheeky mangonel, but the bombard cannons should deal with this, and Amo's starting to get a real strong position here. And the Trebs should go down, the castle gets repaired, and now we should just be able to push onto the castle, to be honest. Amo looking in a really good spot here, a couple of good attack rounds. Here we go, let's see what's happening. And Mamelukes, ooh, No, we're going to dive the onagers. Actually, really good here from John to engage the onagers. The castle, with good micro, might not go up even. But the Mamelukes should clean out the camels. Although, having said that, that was a good little fight for John. And the castle goes up. We need to repair that onager. We need to repair the onager. Okay, we've lost it. That's okay. We've still got the bombard cannons. That's the important thing. Now, bombard cannons need to attack around the archers straight away. Yeah, great. And they're dying to the castle. Good push, actually, from John here. It's got troops going from two directions, taking two castles, and has the bombard cannons out of position. We are operating on one castle, and I think Amo has missed a trick by not hitting the castle. As we see a couple of Mamelukes diving, and gonna lose two castles for almost nothing here. This Byzantine castle having its walls shaken for the first time in the game, but the Byzantine player with two castles already, well, one castle down and a second, I reckon, not far away from being down. But again, this Saracen castle getting a lot of value with, oh, don't lose. And a Treb goes down for nothing. Amo with resources in the bank. Really needs to push this castle back. But John doing a good job of holding and putting pressure on. And I think we should really see the Hussar switch from the Saracen player, just with that res bank. We did drop a few houses, excellent. And what's happening down here? John Ville fighting, love it. And has run out of APM probably for the archery range with a lot going on in the middle. But we do see the camel number is actually getting quite impressive. 31 camels. The castle will go down, but at what cost for the Saracen player? As we do see the knights diving the siege, which is really good. We've dragged the Mamelukes out of position. And we're taking a third castle here. And these Trebs, the Treb positioning from John has been really, really clever. And has just taken castles for nothing. And John has cleaned up the Mamelukes. The camels can get close and shred the camels. The Mamelukes shred the camels until micro isn't relevant. And we see a camel switch, but there's no upgrades, just aren't there yet. And the Byzantine player, John, is starting to push this back. John's hold has been incredible. Got a lot of value out of this position and has produced army the entire way through. Now, fast, that cheaper Byzantine imp really well utilized, but the Treb push is now able to happen, and army numbers are 50 to 4. Population's 150 to 114. There's lots of resources in the bank, but all our production is forward, and these Byzantine camels are going to town. The Byzantine player forcing the Saracen player into a camel war and just winning through production. That is, it's huge. And this dark blue swarm is just taking over the map. "60 camels on the field. Tapped ram coming in. The Trebs just doing their job, and we're going to see this Saracen economy just fall apart now. There's nothing left in the bank. There's idle villages everywhere, and the camels are just winning through numbers. pikemen coming in, but I think it's maybe a little bit too late. Cap Ram going to do what it does, and John has held incredibly well, and John has produced incredibly well, and John has had access to all the gold as well, which is quite big. Ah, this castle needs to be here. There's nothing worse than having a castle dropped on your opening farms. That's how you win the game. But there is quite a large safe economy, and there is quite a good halberdier economy here. So whilst these camels have bought time for the switch, and the Saracen camels are starting to fight back, as we see 30 camels now only for the Byzantine player, to 20 camels for our Saracen player, and the numbers are falling a lot faster for the Byzantine player, but the numbers are winning. The production is winning. We've still got camels in queue, and we have a pikeman switch, and this is where the Byzantines will start to win the matchup, is their pikes are cheaper and the same. Well, maybe slightly less attack, but when we're going to a trash unit, that Saracen Camel HP bonus just makes such a big difference. But we've worked through that, and pikeman must have been denied for our Saracen player. And we've got a camel and a villager starting to whack their way in there. And we've got archers slowly doing work over here with 1 kill, but I think we just keep massing and pushing. I think we're just going to add a few more skirms in, as we must have seen the pike switch, or we must be predicting a pike switch. And the traps could be in trouble. Bombard cannon added. I really like that. I think you just take the traps if you can, rather than getting into a tink war. Yeah. And halberdier coming in at a really good time, actually. And Saracens don't get halberdier either. So this is, yeah, a really strong position for the Byzantine player now. And here goes the death to the Saracen economy. Rest in peace, Saracen economy. But again, numbers are paying here, as the number of Saracen pikes is far outweighing the number of Byzantines, but we see hand cannons in queue as well. Although the skirm switch well and truly on. This could be an interesting little fight here. Right for John to move out. And getting a little bit stalematey here, but I think that just access to gold going to be huge for John. And something that should make a huge advantage as the game drags out. The Byzantines are probably better without gold, but also have access to more gold, which is quite big. But holding quite nicely. Just needs to add siege back in, which we're doing with this siege workshop. And if we can hold this position, get the skirms in on the hand cannons. But we have got 200 pop versus 160 pop. We are slowly making our way back into it. The army numbers aren't horrifically out of place, but John has been microing these camels really well to take fights in his advantage all game. Having said that, where are the camels? What camels? Didn't say anything about camels. But if we can take out all the pikes here, which we are going to do, we have traded our camels for it, but it is It is leaving an army of skirmishers only, and I think if we can start dropping some farms or even just market abusing, a hand cannon switch, sorry, a hussar switch is not out of the question. John just not allowing Amo to push in any way. We see a castle up on the left-hand side of the map, and we just see complete total gold control. Amo doing an exceptional job to hold on, though. It's a bit sad when Trebs are getting kills. And the Bombay can kill your builds as well. The light cab rating should be able to start for our Byzantine player now. Amo holding. Amo just doesn't have the army numbers comparatively. And here the raids begin, and the safe eco has now been penetrated. And we are starting to run out of wood as well as gold, and Amo gives the GG. And well played, John, on game one. Honestly, held that position really well. Amo probably took the better strategically through the beginning of the game and got to an advantage, but John held that position, utilized the Byzantine kind of civ bonuses really well, and just managed to overwhelm. Cheaper units making a big difference. But GG's to both players. Good game. Showing some real strengths. Division D, we expect some high quality stuff from them. They're all superstars in my mind. And we'll go and watch game two, which is going to Amo's home game of a home map of Yucatan. John changing up colors just to keep us on our toes, and we'll go through a bit of a fast forward again. So game two on Yucatan. Bans for this is Saracens by John, which were banned pre-game, obviously. So Amo knew they could be played in the first game, and Mongols by Amo. And we see Hindustanis into the Persians. So Hindustani's a bit of a counter pick here. And I think Yucatan an interesting little map because there's not actually as much gold on it as people think. Persians with the faster moving TCs potentially could get a little fish boom going if you're so inclined. John actually has a nice little fish boom pond here, and lots of deer, 3 boars, heaps of sheep, heaps of berries. It's a food central, this map. And Amo going with the early wall off after scouting around. Now, Amo so far has only played Maxi on this map, and Maxi, the bit of the aggressor, gets things going. And look at this, Amo with the sheep scouting. Look at this area covered with the sheep. And John wanting to eat all the sheep, but you kind of have more sheep than you need. So I love this sheep scouting, sending them all out, finding where the base is, and using your scout to kind of maybe push deer at home. Although look at this, you can just mill 2 batches of deers right there. Ooh, John almost saw that bill, and it is unloomed. So John will take that victory. And we see John sending a bill forward. This is interesting. And John maybe going to click up. Is this a walling bill or is this... Oh no, we don't have loom. Oh, we do have loom. Excellent. And Amo getting loom, but John hasn't noticed. Oh no, we need to start fighting this. We need to start fighting this. Oh, but we're pushing back the scout. Oh, disaster. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, John! You micro... Oh. Rip. And Amo has walls up. And John sending Vils out in a different direction. John cooking something here. Both players on their way to feudal. So let's have a look at how we're setting up. Amo looks like this is just a fast castle. And John possibly looking like a fast castle as well, but I think we're going to have some shenanigans at play. There's these two Vils running around the back of the base. Really? Oh, just missed it. Now, Gaia in play again. We shouldn't lose a Vil this time. Yeah. Gaia not been John's friend in this set so far. Now that both scouts are up, Amo can't fight this, just needs to get out of there, but does know the Vils exist. And goes market. I think we'll see blacksmith, and we're going to see market and maybe archery range? Maybe stable? I'm going to see a building here. Amo just walling back up, which is quite nice. Just mining some gold. Doesn't have any wood. Right. John needs a second building to go up. Amo's got the second building. Has added a scout, which should do like, or added a stable. And we'll click R, but I think we'll add some scouts in. Or maybe it'll be knights once we get up. Maybe it'll be camels. And John just loving taking random neutral resources. A bit of shore fishing, I do like that. And just not getting the res for that second building, quite painful here. As Amo will be in Castle Age in a minute and a half. Now, Amo needs to put some pressure on John with this early Castle Age time. As we see Amo going to stone. And we should see a building dropped like imminently by John. We've got the blacksmith going down. Excellent. I think we can do a bit of fast forwarding again, and we're just chilling with our builds. We're just taking some more neutral res. We're gonna like TC drop or something? I'm not sure what the plan is, but John on their way up and Amo dropping TCs. We have got camels, and I do like the camels. We could probably go for a knight early just to try and take that ascendancy. Happy to sit behind walls and boom Amo. So will be interesting to see how that plays out. John definitely taking the role of the aggressor in this set. And adding scouts, which actually goes well for Amo with the camel edition. And the camels are coming to clean up the scout, and they do so. And what do we see? A siege workshop. So is it going to be a siege scout push? Siege camel push? Not sure. And a TC. And Amo on 3 TCs. Amo with a 10-vil lead. Amo with better eco upgrades and faster working town centers. So in a superior economic position and getting some camel raids in. So Persian camels doing the work. Killing a couple of Vils. But there is a siege push coming this way that we need to deal with. And 2 gates. But, oh no, that's not great. At least we've got some walls. Apologies for the cough. The unbuilt gates will go down quickly. And these Hindustani scouts and camels hit buildings harder. You see a scorpion being added, and John is going to pressure from in behind. You see a couple of camels being added at the back. I think we need a monastery, because camels will just clean this up. There is spears that have been added at home. And Amo has a defensive castle potential coming up. But you honestly just dive this with your camels, right? Just dive it with your camels. I don't know what you're worried about. That will clean all of this up. You can see it's just light cav. Been very patient, Amo. We're microing out here, no. Did we kill those spears? Yes, we did. And the spears been made at home. I think we just engage this. I truly think we just need to engage this. We're making a ram. And a castle. A castle to protect from the push, but I think that leaves a lot open outside. I'm not sure if this is the castle I want. John actually doing a good job, because John has closed off the neutral resources here, and this is what I wanted to see. Dive the mango. It's done. Kill those scouts now. Took the score. Great work. This was all going to die. For the cost of one camel, that was pretty good. And now we can go and start to clean up. There are Hindustani camels on the field now, but we do have the numbers advantage, and that's important. And we should be able to go push this back now. And Amo, 27 vills up. Still has a couple of camels. Oh, that's good monk micro from John there, getting the high HP camel. Having the spear in place, and John adding that third TC. And I wonder if we're going to see a bit of boom off. I might give us a bit of 2x speed for the meantime. As the ram will come and deal with this. Camel numbers won't be produced fast enough here. Although, the camels have done alright there. Now we just need to move on to the siege workshop. There'll be no production there. John taking the camels home, which is nice. Ooh, John seeing that and smart to take that engagement. Loses the camels. I think we're just going to boom into a bit of camel war. Amo with Imprez. Hey, I reckon Amo's going to be up to Imp pretty soon. There we go. And John going to be second to Imp again, but John doing a good job at keeping the pressure on Amo's base. So everything is back at home. And we see 4th town centre being dropped. And farms being added in. And the Hindustani cheaper vills mean that we can get a bit of a nice boom off going here. We see a second castle just to protect this area. And Amo now has secured this res position as well, which is important. But Amo has just housed John. Needs to take these two out as well. Well, won't be housed for long. Now, Amo will have the faster imp timing again. Has the superior economy again. Let's hope that he can take advantage, use that economy, get the military position, and force John onto the back foot. A position we haven't seen John in yet. as the houses survive to provide partial vision of the backward lines. And John going to be placing a defensive forward castle again. I would possibly think that we can assess that we're by second to imp here and maybe drop the castle a bit further back. But we did see John protect quite a strong position with his Byzantine castle in the last set. And Amo sending Vils forward to outpost. University, another TC. Still 16k gold on the map. This gold being here is not great. It's John's third gold, but this is Amo's third gold as well. So gold is a bit of an issue in this map. We know a castle's going up. And John's really going to need to sit and hold. John's been getting relics, which is really good. Do like that. John just misses this relic, but knows this relic's here. Amo misses this relic, but knows this relic's here. And neither of them know about this one. As Amo is bringing in a relic. And Grand Trunk Road, so gold income will be faster, so that'll be good for the relics, actually. And it will mean that this gold just gets eaten as well, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So I think we are going to see a bit of a camel off. I think as the Persian player, maybe you add a bit of trash bow, maybe you start thinking helb as well. Just having that better help, and trash bow could probably then come into snipers versus spear pikemen, I suppose. But Amo getting on the front foot as Imp is in for John and putting pressure down early, which I do like. Now John is going to defend this position. Amo making up military numbers, which again, something I was critical of in the last game. So good to see Amo getting that military up, getting into a position to push and take the impetus, and forcing John into a bit of a resource sink as the game is progressing. But John in a pretty good position with lots of stone in the bank, a pretty secure economy, and a really good position to defend from with this elevation. So we need to keep adding trebs, which we're doing. We need to think about chemistry, and we need to think about siege engineers, which I don't know if we get as Persians. We do not. So chemistry really important here, and that this does look like it's going to be skirm camel. And I actually really like the skirm play from the Persian player here. Now, John doing a really good job of holding, but John is going to need to add in more villages to repair to keep this afloat. Resources won't be the issue. Repair villages will be, and we need a university to get our techs to boost our HPs. We've now got 3 trebs pushing down. There's Amo grabbing the second relic really well, and now sees another relic. So, in a good position there. And John dropping a castle back here. This castle has done its job. It's slowed the push down. It's allowed us to get to a good monk number and get to a good camel number. Now, I actually have played against John in a team tournament once before, and I'm pretty confident John did play a lot of monks in that game as well. And John looking to defend this position, but the monk addition's great, but I love skirms countering monks, because you don't want to convert skirms, do you? The skirms just need to tickle that palisade to death now. But barracks won't be long for the world. And John's boomed up into a pretty good position here. Again, John got really good army production. Conversions will be critical here, as we do, in this situation, have the better camels. is the walling up behind. So once we get the upgrades in, we do have the faster attacking camels, as we do see University, and a few vills sneaking around out the back. Hello, Auto Farm. Now, what are these guys doing? And Imperial Camel. Oh. Scam's doing some pretty early tickle to death. And the Bombard Cannon addition. Now we do need to get the Trebs moving forward. Have we seen Devotion from our Persian player? We have not, I don't think. But Imperial Camel is going to be quite decisive here. Imperial Camel Monk is a really good combination, but we are 30 pop behind. So it really depends on how well the numbers on the fights go. And we are adding in some light cav to get some raiding in, and obviously sniping monks as well. So, Monastery going down. And we are going to be in, but Imperial Camel is 20 seconds away. And watch the stat change on these guys. Going from 8 attack, well 7 base attack, 0 base armor, and 140 HP, which is 120 base HP, as the scouts dive in. And we see the HP jump, the attack jump, and this is a big fight. And the Hindustani numbers are just better here, and the conversions. The Imp Camel timing was critical then, as we just see the Persian camels just get decimated. Now, I think this needs to be a pike switch in the back, as we get the barracks coming up. And again, John doing a good job at holding that position, and John adding stables out the back and getting the raids on. And John proving that holding a position is his favourite spot. So we do see the barracks being dropped by our Persian player. And I think a pike switch is really going to be difficult in here. I don't think we're prepped for a hand cannon switch, but here comes chemistry. So we are thinking about it, and these raids are doing quite a lot. And the Hindustani camels are just going to melt everything here. They're just going to melt everything here, as we see Halberdier is on its way. Man, is this going to get denied? I don't think so. I don't think so, but you never know with these Hindustani camels. Oh, you never know. No, it's not getting denied. And John getting a lot of value out of those little sneak camels. As, geez, John could continue to get a lot of value out of those sneak camels. Just passing. Just passing. Just passing. And sees the castle. Oh, no. Sees the monk. Sees the ram. And John racing forward with castles. Rebuilds the destroyed castle. Gets another forward position. Getting masonry, securing positions, and going for the hand cannon switch, as we just see a flood of red lighting up the map. And Amo not in the best position here. John has flicked the switch, and the helps though. Here we go. Can we deny this castle? I don't think so. 51 Imperial camels. Oh, we just can't. We won't deny this castle. This is going to be hard to deal with. We do have Trashbow in. Trashbow help is fine. And Amo getting out on this gold, which is actually really important. Gold is going to be super important for this game, because there's only 3,500 of it left. John has 1 relic. Amo has 2 relics. And Amo has access to a little bit more gold. Let's see, with 3,500 gold, and there's 2,500 here, and 20 here, and there must be more gold somewhere on the map. At the back here for Amo. which is really important. So Amo probably needs to understand, being a home map, the gold position, and we need to just hold this position, but there are 40 Imperial camels. Imperial camels. And the hand cannon's just been patiently added in, as well as some hussars for raiding. So I do like this from John. This castle will go down. Amo's been good to add the siege in, and we just need to hold this position. This could be quite a good... Oh, we didn't patrol in. Oh. Imp camels with that extra HP trade okay. But the numbers are being whittled down as... Have we seen Chattagnia? There's still 7 range. So crash bows with... Oh, as we see all the pikes go down here. So there's still 23 Imperial camels that melt buildings here. We need to get some pikes out into position. Oh, I don't know if we want to go all the way back. But both players around 180 pop, holding their positions. We see skirm's been added in. I actually quite like the skirm addition. Knowing that gold is going to be a problem, I do like the skirm addition. Being on this gold is critical for Amo, and being on this gold is critical for Amo. But we just need to patrol our units in. Just patrol them in. Patrol them in. So we trade 9 halberdier for 7 camels, and we're pushing on the front as well. And Amo with res for days, John with wood for days, my gosh. And John spreading out this way, building another market, looking to grab more relics, which is important. These camels just getting a lot of value for kind of nothing, really. And Amo pushes back this castle for the 2nd time, and John sits in behind this castle for the 2nd time. Upgrades and numbers matters. And again, the timing on the upgrade for John. Just been so patient to wait for Hussar here. Hussar comes in and all of a sudden we've got 41 Hussars. And we're dragging Helbs out of position. But I don't think this is a fight you want to take as John yet. If we can get the micro on this fight right for both players... It's all it's going to come down to. And there's a bit of a hellbraid going on. Micro and numbers will matter here. What's going to be left? More Hussars or more Halberdiers? And it's going to be more Hussars, which means our ability to clean is going to be right here. And the Hussars are all being out of position now because of these camels, which have finally been sorted out. And John can pump Hussars for days. But Amo getting raids up. Amo getting into the economy. And the same thing for John. The camels have actually broken in. Did they just run in from here? I'm not sure. They run in from here, but... The camels will finally go down. We'll finally be down to 0 camels. And gold is the big distinguishing factor right now. It is a trash battle. But one player has 1,400 gold and a bit more to come. Control over all the gold in the map. John doing a great job of getting the relics in. And with Grand Trunk Road, that will add up. But John starting to lose army numbers as we see a golem clicked in. And John also doing a good job of just spreading out. But security of these Persian castles will help out Amo quite some bit. And the Hussar raids will probably fall a little bit flat as we just need to protect siege and push. But I tell you what, both players showing they're pretty strong at the late game, and there's a lot of ebb and flow here. Be a brave man to call it now. As we see a lot of patience from both players, and oh, the Persian castle tech. I forgot what that was for a second. So just getting a little bit more powerful defense here. And that is going to be hard to push, but we have built up a couple of traps. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be straight Hussar for the time being. So John, with a lot of wood in the bank, should start dropping some farms. And I think Amo's about to find out about this castle. The ballisticless castle. And this is the big push coming up. This is the push. John's gonna have to fight, and it is 90 army versus 40. And it's kind of the inverse of the other game, where at the end, John just had all the numbers. Amo is the one with the stronger army, the stronger production, and just looking in a position where they have the answers. But John isn't done with yet. 40 Hussar has proven to make good micro decisions. See the late game techs coming in. The Hussars clean the hell. The skirms aren't going to do a lot, and John doing a great job of engaging part of the Hussar and engaging the siege. And John's 40 Hussar are going to clean everything up here. All the siege is gone. An ambitious forward castle is coming. But I think there's just going to be too much held production now, and all the Hussar are gone. Well, not quite, but close to. And Amo holding this position has enough production in the end to keep themselves safe, has pushed back all the castles bar one, and is getting a, you know, get out of my game castle, and that's exactly what it does. And John calls the GG, and we see a really entertaining set go down 1-1. Well played to both players. GG's. And thanks for stopping in to watch, guys. Always good to have you, even though it's a little bit of a different setting in these offline casts. But we'll see a little bit more of them just so I can try and catch up on the craziness that has been going on with the Division D scheduling. So hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you for more casts later.